Hey everybody, Spencer here with another weekly video. For today's topic, I have been thinking really long and hard about what I wanted to do and had a pretty good thought out plan and script, and then all of the weekly and monthly sales for September came out for video games, at least in terms of the United Kingdom as well as North America, primarily the United States, and after seeing how much of an absolute train wreck 13 Sentinels was, I felt inclined to make a video, not really kind of guilting anyone as like, hey, why didn't you buy this game? More so wanting to talk to people and say, hey, here is this game that sold really, really bad, and let's kind of talk about it. Like, why did it sell so bad? So for starters, let's just go all the way back to the marketing, which is always one of the big things I bring up. I have been continuously disappointed with how Atlus decided to market 13 Sentinels. If you go back and look at how they treated the story, they were so busy fawning over the art. They didn't really want to kind of get into more of it, as opposed to there's kaiju, there's mecha, it's vanillaware art, please buy it. Now, obviously, with such a story-heavy game, it is hard to really kind of get into it in terms of like the meat and potatoes as to here's what the story's about, here's what makes it so special. But by giving it such a sort of vanilla marketing approach, it's led a lot of people who might be on the fence about the game and aren't just loyal Atlus or Vanillaware fans to kind of look at this title and go, okay, well, I see all the review scores are great. I see people are saying it's awesome. Everyone, when it came out in Japan, couldn't shut up about it. But from a major media perspective, if you're not somebody reviewing this game, I've been nonstop hearing from people who aren't playing the game but are kind of interested in it. Okay, I'm interested in the developer and publisher, but all I'm seeing is Japanese schoolgirls being naked and giant robots, so not really a important kind of pickup. Which leads us into like the thing of like, okay, yeah, like how could I have, like, let's, instead of playing armchair quarterback, let's say, alright, I'm at Atlus West, what do I do to market this game differently? I say, show off the gameplay more. Don't just be showing off the segments. Kind of show off everything this game has to offer, even if it's not the prettiest. Because, like, hey, if you look at the gameplay for this, like, it's 13 Sentinels' actual battle gameplay is not where the game shines the most, for sure, but that is still a good chunk of the game, and is definitely not, like, kind of an afterthought in terms of how Vanillaware planned and programmed everything. So don't be afraid to show off the gameplay. Don't be afraid to show off all of your characters. Like, yes, they were very upfront about, look at all the characters we have, but outside of saying, boy, look at this one guy, isn't it weird that he likes yakisoba pan noodles so much? And it's like, I guess, we haven't really played the game, so I mean, like, I guess it's funny he likes food, so there you go. So rambling aside, I would have just kind of been like, hey, this game is unlike anything else out there. Please feel free to take a chance. And obviously, one of the biggest things that I still can't get that they didn't put out for this is there was a prologue demo that gives you the opening sequence of the game and kind of like throws you into it, gives you a mix of gameplay, gives you a mix of a couple of characters in terms of the story. And they had that available in Japan originally as a paid demo, but you can just play that now free if you want. It's just obviously in Japanese only. And it's just so frustrating to me that they, at Atlus Japan and Vanillaware, they knew that this is such a crazy kind of risky genre blend that it's hard to kind of like make this a digestible thing of like, here's this game, here's what it's about. And I'm sure I'm going to have that problem when I eventually end up reviewing it for this channel, but it's just such a weird thing to me of like, in Japan they even knew that, hey, we need to get a demo in people's hands for them to really understand this game and get people excited without just basically going in with blind trust. So that kind of goes into the next point of why, even if they had done this, they would have kind of been setting themselves up for disaster. So the game released in late September, and September was already a really packed month. It had Avengers, it had Tony Hawk Pro Skater. If you're including these sales, which the MPD does later on, they have the first weekend of Crash and Star Wars Squadrons. Had tons of games. People were talking about Hades. There were just so many titles coming out, big or small, that Atlus releasing a title from Vanillaware, and this game has been worked on for so many years, primarily in Japan, less so in the West, but has had so much love and care, and it just really sucked that this game kind of just released like a wet fart. And it's really crazy because not even PlayStation in like their last state of play they did with PlayStation 4 games chose to really talk about it, which I was so surprised about. Because look at it, this on paper. This is a honest-to-goodness PlayStation 4 exclusive. And yet, outside of Atlas, no one was really talking about it. PlayStation wasn't really marketing it as an exclusive. They cared about it as an exclusive in terms of its Japanese release, but it was so odd to me how that almost never came up in terms of, hey, look at this big... Like, it's big in the sense of not every game that comes out of Japan, even if it is exclusive on PS4, is like 13 Sentinels. 13 Sentinels is something very unique and really on its own, and I think that the people at Atlas and the people at Sony should have really honed in on that for the marketing of like, hey, look at this game. Like, this is only on PlayStation 4. This is very uniquely us. And obviously, I think that's a whole larger conversation about Sony in terms of current day Sony. They do not want to market something like 13 Sentinels. They've already very much so pushed themselves out of the, hey, we're not the Japanese company we used to be. We are now the PlayStation company. Like I said, whole different other video. So the release timing was just an absolute disaster. People are playing so many other things. 13 Sentinels, even from the people I talked to, were like, I'm interested in it, but I think I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale. So let's get into sales really quick here. First up on sales, we have the NPD sales. So for all of NPD, what they end up doing is they take the physical sales and, for the most part, a lot of digital sales. And in this case, since we're only talking about PlayStation, this does count PlayStation digital sales. These are the top 20. So right now here, I am showing you the top 20 NPD games for the month of September. Now, obviously, it goes into a little bit of October, but that kind of just goes to show how much these games sold even with a couple of days, like with Crash Bandicoot. So here we go. We have number 1, Marvel's Avengers. Not that surprising. Number 2 is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That's physical only. Madden 21, Tony Hawk, NBA 2K21, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Crusader Kings 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Star Wars Squadrons, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Crash Bandicoot 4, Ghost of Tsushima, Ring Fit Adventure, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, UFC 4, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mortal Kombat 11, and Super Mario Party. Absolutely bog standard month for the most part. All of the big new games that you expected to be there were there. But even a couple of other things of like, okay, obviously an Atlas game you're not really going to get a lot of digital sales. But even looking at just physical, the fact that it couldn't even break top 20 really, really worries me in my thing of, I'd been joking for so long that this game was going to sell 13 copies, and I'm sad to say that in reality, I think it'll be lucky to have sold 1,300 copies. So I don't think this is going to be a game that's going to be rare, obviously, but it's just sad like how quickly it's already kind of been forgotten in the almost month since its release. Now, next up, I'm going to be showing you the top 20 for the UK sales charts. Now, this is pretty similar to it, but the UK differs just a little bit in a couple of areas. So we have at number 1, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Marvel Avengers, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Animal Crossing New Horizon, Mario Kart 8, Minecraft on Switch, GTA 5, NBA 2K21, PGA Tour 2K21, Ring Fit Adventure, Ghost of Tsushima, Minecraft Dungeons, FIFA 20, Super Mario Odyssey, Mafia Definitive Edition, EA Sports UFC 4, F1 2020, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Paper Mario The Origami King, and Lego Harry Potter Collection. No idea why Lego charted, but hey, we're not even at the weirdest part of this month yet. So yeah, the fact that it didn't get any sort of charting in the top 20 for NPDs in the US as well as the UK charting, pretty disappointing. And our last bastion of hope was the digital list. Obviously, I think if you're an Atlas fan, unless you're really sort of forced to be a digital collector, most Atlas fans, at least that I know through my years of SMTN, we are very much physical for everything. Still, even though I think that the physical pre-order bonus with 13 Sentinels was kind of a dud this year, I thought, in all fairness, let's look. 2020 has been a weird year. Maybe people are just buying 13 Sentinels digitally and don't want to have to go out to stores to pick it up. So here we have the top 20 in terms of digital for the US and the EU. And we're going to do the EU first, and then we're going to finish with the US digital sales because honestly the ending one on the US one hurts the most. So for number 1 to 20 for the EU Top 20 downloaded on PlayStation servers, this comes from the PlayStation blog directly. At number 1 we have FIFA 20, Fall Guys, NBA 2K21, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Marvel Avengers, eFootball Pro Evolution Soccer 2021 Season Upgrade, GTA 5, The Division 2, Mafia Definitive Edition, Minecraft, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Days Gone, Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Red Dead Redemption 2, Need for Speed Payback, Marvel Spider-Man, The Forest, and Gran Turismo Sport. Again, nothing too surprising outside of a couple things that are probably on sale or new. And then finishing off, we have the number 1 to number 20 digital sales in the US. Alright, so starting off at number 1, we have NBA 2K21, Marvel's Avengers, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Madden 21, Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, GTA 5, Minecraft, FIFA 20, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Mafia Definitive Edition, Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege, PGA Tour 2K21, Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, God of War, Dead by Daylight Special Edition, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and the final nail in the FU this game sold terribly, I don't care what you say, coffin, is Jump Force. Yes, Jump Force, proving that even though anime is amazing, Spike Chunsoft definitely doesn't always knock it out of the park, and Shonen Jump deserves so much better. But again, that is a whole different other topic. Sales all across the board in the West, really big disappointment, and could not have been a bigger bummer. I was hoping it would at least get top 20 with hopefully the positive reviews, but unfortunately this just goes to show, no matter how positive the word of mouth is from everyone, this is just such a crazy fall in terms of people are just kind of waiting, saving for next gen. I know I've already passed on a couple of games that I'm waiting on just because I'm trying to save up for a PlayStation 5. So I think it was just a really bad mixture of waited way too long to get the game out, marketing was not doing it any favors, and by the time it did finally came out, it had a really rough time in terms of marketing everything, as well as standing out amongst all of the other games. Last little point of note, I've kind of talked about this a couple of times, but it's been a while since I really did. If I could go back in time and give this game a shot in the arm in terms of getting more sales and attention, I was really hoping that Atlas and Vanillaware had the foresight to see that they'd kind of waited too long for this game to really succeed in the West and hold off until PlayStation 5 came out. And then release this game on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 at the same time on launch day, giving the PlayStation 5 a really sort of weird kind of out there experience on top of a new system where people are just so hungry for anything new. I mean, let's be real. No one actually wants to play Godfall, but the only reason we're talking about Godfall is because it's a PlayStation 5 game. Just an interesting thought I wanted to put out there. If 13 Sentinels had waited until the PlayStation 5 came out, had a couple of extra visual enhancements and improvements, do you guys think that the game would have sold well? Either way, guys, thank you so much for letting me kind of rant and ramble about why I think 13 Sentinels was such a commercial sales disaster in the West. Let me know what you think if you are playing the game in the comments below. If you enjoyed this kind of video and like to see more like it, make sure to like the video, share it, or subscribe. It is always super appreciated. And yeah, besides that, a little bit of housekeeping before the end of the video. I am still working on my review of 13 Sentinels. My hope is by the end of the month to get my review done, as well as a spoiler cast. So, wish me luck on finding some free time in terms of actually finishing this game. And either way, guys, have a good rest of your weekend. See ya.